Dixie, we stand in front of a pretty smart trotter behind you in Speeding Spur, and at Row Cup time, I suppose as a trotting purist, you love this time of year.
Yep, for sure, Greg. It's a race I'd always wanted to win, and on that night, albeit a few years ago now, it was a pretty unreal night.
We haven't probably got a Speeding Spur amongst your team in this week, but let's talk about your chances. A couple in the first, Cyber Attack and Mr. Muscle, both with talent.
Yeah, for sure. Mr. Muscle's probably the better one of the two at this stage. He's just starting to get his head around going away from stand, Greg, and he'd be extremely hard to beat if he does trot away.
He's certainly shown us the talent enough to win quite a few races, and in this type of field, therefore, he should take some beating.
Yes, he will. He's a smart little character when he does things right, and that's not fair to Cyber Attack. He's always taken a bit of time, and he's a lot more stronger now and getting better, and albeit it might be a bit of a step up for him, but he's heading in the right direction. Yeah,
some of the horses he raced against, and I know it took him a wee while to get that win, but that they've gone on as well. So there's a bit of depth to that, and I see Crystal's taken the drive.
Yes, I just thought it was a junior drive concession, but it didn't work out the way on Premier Night, but I found that out. But there's no big deal. We're not losing anything in the talent with her driving it, Greg, so I'm sure she'll do a good job.
Right, so clearly Mr. Muscle was the better of the two?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Race number 4, mid-through Luke got the business done last time. Actually was pretty strong to the line.
Yeah, correct. We thought should have won a race before now, Greg, actually. He in his couple of starts he ran a 4th and a 6th. I thought, he could have been a bit better, and then virus turned up, and which we didn't know he had, and blah, blah, blah. So he's been treated, and it was his first run back last week from that virus. So I expect a better run this week, actually. All
right. Actually did a power of work last time. Barrier draw-wise this week. What would you like to see unfold?
I'm not sure yet. I won't say that on TV as yet, so to give away sort of information to other people that are driving. But again, I put Leisha on thinking it was a junior claim, but I've still kept her on. I think she's a good driver anyway. But I think that he'll be more than competitive this week.
Let's go on to a derby, and the Breckon Farms Trotting Derby this year has a lot of depth to it. It's a race you've had good success in.
Yes, it has, and yeah, horse, that's what we do. He's definitely a year away, Greg. I've got a lot of time for him. And the other night he galloped around the last bend. Zach said he was going to run in 3. He felt really good. He got squeezed up, but he just didn't have the race experience to keep trotting when he got squeezed up. And so by that reason, I was actually really pleased that when he said he should have run the money. But I think probably looking at the field, and as you said, there's some smart ones in there. This time next year, who knows?
All right. Barrier 1 though, short way home is always the best way home, particularly over the 2700. How do you think he'll handle that?
Fine. He's actually he'd only had 2 trials from the gate before he raced last week, and he's been really safe. And he's not slow out of the gate either. He can hold his own.
You've got some overstayers here. We've already caught up with Greg Hope and Greg and Nina's team, of course, with AG's White Sox and Midnight Dash. But Manhattan's a horse you know well, goes round in the Feature Mares race, and on her most recent form, she's been in some deep races.
Yes, she has. She's a lovely mare, Greg, and she had a little slight issue last week with tying up. She's sort of been on the float for a couple of days, and she had a day off, and then she tied up, so hence she didn't race last week. But her week this week's been terrific. She trained terrific on Monday, and I would expect a big run from her.
Given that it is such a huge trotting occasion on Friday night, I wanted to get your thoughts around this marvel that is Sundees Son. What do you make of him? What do you see when you see him out on the track?
Yeah, well, the first thing I see personally, Greg, is that how he goes about his racing. We've all had Speeding Spurs and even Lowell Creeks, not that I hate him, obviously, but they race differently. This horse has just taken the speed out of them and running these amazing times that it's pacing times. Yeah. And I don't know if these other horses that I just mentioned would keep up to him. I'm not sure. Another factor, his grandmother's Thriller D just might have something to do with it, Derek. I'm not sure.
I was just going to ask you about that. How do you reckon Thriller D would have gone in this day?
No, well, I think I remember I got beat on her in 1983. I think that we went 4.9 or something for 2 mile, and now the RJ's one's going 2.56, 3.56. Unreal, unheard of.
When you think of all the good horses you've had, and Speeding Spur and Last Sunset and Thriller D and Paramount GG, the list goes on and on for you and in the latter years with Josh involved. It's a great time for trotting though, because we probably never saw this coming, and when you consider what he's beating, Bolt for Brilliance in any other year would be a champion, Muscle Mountain would be too. It's a lot of depth there, isn't it?
There is a lot of depth, Greg, and unfortunately he's scaring horses away. I mean, I haven't got anything of those horses at the moment, but I'd be scared to line one up against him as well.